Yes, you've been here before.
Many
Times, yes. Forgive me, I forget your name.
My name is Yolande Mystery.
Yolande.
I met you 7 years ago.
Yes.
And my life has changed dramatically.
I see.
Slowly,
Yeah,
understanding things.
Yeah.
And I always hesitate to ask what I think is a stupid question. But now I feel that your days are not forever, and I should ask this
Yes.
and learn something. Everything is nice, my life is peaceful, every day is okay. I'm very grateful for the simple life I have, but sometimes a big stone gets thrown in my calm waters.
Yes.
And I know everything is God's will. I understand very well all that. But in that moment,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So in that moment, let whatever happens, happen. Don't be concerned. Now you're concerned with what happened. Now you're concerned with what happened. My point is, let whatever happen, happen. Don't get involved in it as you're getting involved now. What does it mean? Should I stop it? Just don't get involved in it. You witness it, it happened, all right, it happened, then it disappeared. It happened, then it unhappened.
So if somebody, suppose, is causing a situation,
Yeah.
and I choose silence, that's not okay for that person. If I choose to respond,
Yeah.
that's not okay for that person. Sometimes I've said, listen, I'm not Ramesh Balsekar, and I don't have the absolutely right answer in the right tone, in
Yeah.
the right way.
Yes.
That's not, nothing is good enough. So what do?
I mean, you take a specific situation, then we'll talk. Take a specific situation. Tell me what happened, then we'll talk. What happened? Who came and asked you to tell you what?
No, it happens a lot. I have an American living with me
Yes.
for a number of years now.
Yes.
And
Where do you live?
I live in Goa.
You
now.
live in Goa.
But
Yes.
she moved to India with me,
Yes.
and she's very different, and that's all fine.
Yes.
She will ask or want something from me which I'm not able to give, or some question, and
Then in
I
that
get
case-
impatient.
Yes. In that case, tell her whatever you know, and you say that that is what I think. It's up to her. So in that situation, you do whatever you feel like doing. If you don't feel like doing it, say, I really don't know. If she asks something about which you are not sure, tell her, really, believe me, I really don't know anything about it. Whatever I tell you will be my concept. Then it's up to her, what can she do? Tell her, I don't really know anything about it. Whatever I say will be a concept. I know nothing about it.
About any subject. It could be any subject.
Any subject, if you are not sure what you are talking about, say, I really don't know. I really don't know. And if she gets angry, it's her problem. You need not get involved in it. So everything is quiet. Something drops and let it happen. Let the happening happen. You don't have to get involved in the happening. As simple as that. Let the happening happen. You don't have to get involved in it. Okay? What do you do in Goa?
You know, I'm ashamed to say that actually I do nothing of value, but my day slips by.
Yes, but what about money?
Money is there in a way. We live very simply.
I see.
Very simple.
But whatever money you need is there. Money is
Yes.
no problem.
Not at the moment. My husband is a violinist,
I see, I see.
And he's come here, and I have a dog, and the garden, and the cooking,
Yes,
and a 90-year-old mother,
yes.
and the day has slipped by.
You don't have any children.
Oh yes, I have 2 boys. One has come here,
I see, yes.
and he's now up to God to handle. The other one is in the US. He's also come here. So they're not with me.
I see. So that, yes, yes.
They're not really
So
with
in your daily living,
Yeah.
they don't cause a problem,
Not really. Not really.
except when you think about them.
When they throw that stone there.
Yeah.
If they take a big stone in my pond
Yes,
and one fellow does it,
yes.
I just think it must be his will.
So it happened, let it happen.
Yeah, it's God's
But
will.
let it happen, when I say let it happen, in that happening, if there is a situation which you have to handle, you have to handle it. That is a happening. If that happening causes a situation which you have to deal with, you have to deal with that situation. In that situation at that time, do whatever you feel you should do. Having done it, don't expect anything. So when the stone drops, he said, importantly, if there is a situation arise, very often a situation may not arise unless you create it by saying, how dare you do it? Then you have created this. So if something happens, let it happen. But if the happening has created a situation, then you have to deal with the situation the best way you can. Whatever you feel at that time, you do it and then forget about it. Then forget about what you have done.
But if somebody is directly rude or speaks in a rude way, then I do think, how dare he speak like that?
Yes, that's the problem.
So I shouldn't think, how
Who
dare
is
he.
speaking to whom? He is speaking to me. She is speaking to me. She is speaking to me wrongly. She doesn't give me enough respect. She does. That is direct involvement of the ego and the total forgetting of the fact nobody says anything. Whatever anybody says is a happening through that body-mind organism. Nobody does anything. It is a happening through that body-mind organism. Therefore, thinking that somebody says something, somebody does something, is a fundamental mistake.
So my reaction, because I see it clearly, how dare he, that is the ego. That's my ego.
Yes.
And if
No, that's not your ego. You are the ego. That is your reaction. So don't blame it on some ego. It's your problem. You are the ego.
I am the ego.
You don't have an ego on whom you can put the burden. You are the ego.
So letting it go,
Letting it go means you as the ego do not get involved in it unless there is a situation which you as an individual entity, as an ego, has to deal with. Then you have to deal with it. Dealing with it means doing something or not doing something. So see what
so
happens.
silence is not a good way to respond.
How do you mean a good way to respond? There is no good way to respond, there is no bad way to respond. See what happens. Do whatever you feel like doing. And when you don't feel like doing anything, you don't say anything. Which you say is silence.
I feel like withdrawing, and then that person gets more angry.
Yeah. What happened to that person is not your problem. So long as you do not deliberately hurt him.
They say that my silence hurts them.
Then it's their problem.
Thank you.
It's their problem.
Silence is better for me because I may not have the right
But
words.
you don't, then in that case, why remain silent? Why not say, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. whatever I say will be my concept. And I'm quite sure that my concept could be wrong. In other words, you'll ask something. Then you have to accept that you are not a jnani. You are not supposed to know anything. And I do not know anything. You don't have, if you sit silent, then it can give a wrong message.
It does give that.
Saying, oh, she thinks she's a big jnani. She's too high to speak to a low person like me.
My son thinks that. So then I respond and say, I don't know.
I don't know.
But Ramesh Bhai, when I say to him, I don't know, he's always got a smart answer. He says, oh, it's very convenient, Ma, you don't know. You're 60, you should know, he tells me.
So tell her, I may be 80 and yet not know.
Okay, I'm going to say that.
In that situation, if she says you are 60, you should know.
Yeah.
Tell her, I may be 90 and yet I may not know.
Okay, I'll do
Whereas, you may be 30 and you may know. You see, that is a fact. That is a fact. He could be 30 and he may know. You may be 90 and not know.
My life is very simple and I'm truly grateful with all my heart for meeting you. I now don't do the stuff of before, bhajans and mantras and malas, and I do love my Guru Muktananda. He did teach me many things.
Yeah.
Then I came here
Yeah.
and suddenly everything got all light and all the shit, sorry for my language, it's lighter, it's okay, it's God's will. If that's how I am, then that's how I am. But some of these, like this, is a major handling.
Such as about meditation.
No, this is how to handle somebody throwing the big rock.
Yeah.
It comes rarely,
Yeah.
very rare.
Yes, but before you came to me, you had instructions about how to behave.
Yeah.
You had instructions on how to behave.
Yeah, and most times I couldn't toe the line. Most times I was not towing that line, meditating right and doing everything.
Now, meditating and repeating japa is another matter. That is, the question then is, should I or should I not meditate?
Sometimes it wasn't possible. Now I just close my eyes and I do nothing really. I'm just there in the chair.
So what is the real question? Yolanda, you say? Yolanda. What is the real problem? Should I do meditation or should I not do meditation?
I now don't do anything.
If meditation happens, let it happen.
I don't even know if you call that meditation. I'm in my
Why
bed.
should you know?
Right. I'm in the chair, on the bed, and I'm reading your book and I close my eyes and the book is here and I may slip away. What it is, I don't know.
Why should you know? And what is there to know? If what has happened has happened. What is there to know about the happening? You know what happened. You are reading, then the book fell on your chest and you fell asleep. What is there to know? And who is to know? Who is to know what? A happening happened. You let the happenings happen.
I feel that now.
Let the happenings happen. And if the happening affects someone and a situation arises, then you have to do what you feel you should do at that moment. And having done it, forget what happened after that. Life can be so simple.
And this question, these two people will come here, so I couldn't ask that question maybe when they're here. They will come. They're here on this trip. So I came alone today. It happened like that they can't come. It wasn't arranged. And it's those, really, there are very few people in my life. I don't lead a social life or anything. These 2-3 people are the ones that may throw the big rock. It's big always, it's not even little. And then I get all, I don't like that peace being disturbed.
There are many things your land doesn't like. In this world, there are many things your land doesn't like. So what?
So what? Yes. So how do I handle that?
You accept whatever happens
I try.
as something which is supposed to happen
Yeah.
according to your destiny, God's will, cosmic law. And if that brings you pain, accept the pain, suffer the pain.
Yes.
If that brings you joy, enjoy the joy. Enjoy the pleasure. A happening happens. It brings you pleasure or pain. Pleasure, enjoy the pleasure, suffer the pain. And in a situation, needs for something for you to do it. Do precisely what you feel like doing at that time. Having done it, forget it, don't expect anything. Life can't be simpler than that. See, the whole trouble is, life means something happening all the time. Life means something happens at any time. Problem is, when I want something specific to happen, or something specific not to happen, that's where the problem is. So all I have to accept is, something always happens, and what happens is precisely what is supposed to happen. What happens is precisely what is supposed to happen. So if I don't react to it, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. But as I said, that is the trouble. Everything happens. But the problem with the individual ego is the individual ego expects something specific to happen or not happen. And if it does not happen, the ego gets ruffled and the ego becomes unhappy. The connection with the source is broken. But if happening happens, you see that happening. You don't get involved in it. If there's pleasure, you enjoy the pleasure. If there's pain, you suffer the pain. The connection with the source is not broken.
This answer to these people, I really don't know, doesn't always work.
What do you mean it doesn't always work? What it means is that your land doesn't get the respect she expects. If your land gets the respect she expects, then yes.
If I say to them, I really don't know, the thing that's coming back is, what do you mean? You should know this and this and this. It's your job, that and that and that. How come you don't? And then
then you say, the fact is, I don't know. How come I don't know? How should I know?
Okay, now this answer...
All I know is, I don't know. I don't know many things.
I should write this down.
How come I am supposed to know what?
These questions, Ramesh Bhai, are not about spiritual things or God or anything. This is about daily some little nonsense.
Then little nonsense. If you know something, say so.
And I don't know, I say so.
If you don't know, you say you don't know.
But what comes back is not nice. And when it's not nice, if it's rude, then I don't like rude.
Look, the answer to that, the famous thing. A man came to Buddha, said a lot of bad things to him. You're such and such, you're this, you're that, you're such. Buddha didn't react. He went back. And then he said, Buddha didn't react. Buddha was angry. So he came to Buddha. How is I said so much to you? Someone has said even 1/3 of that, I would have got mad. Why didn't you act? So Buddha said, Suppose you had come to give me some nice thing. If I didn't accept it, what would have happened? The nice thing would have remained with you. This time you came with a very bad thing. I didn't accept it. So what has happened? The bad thing has remained with you. Whatever you came to me, good thing or a bad thing, if I don't accept it, if I don't respond to it, then I'm not concerned. That is the point. So if someone comes and, mind you, someone comes and then the reaction can be a biological reaction. Anger may arise. But if I know that anger has the moment the anger arises, in the same moment you realize that there is no need for the me to, therefore the me, anger subsides. So anger may arise, but with this understanding that the other has nothing to give you or take away from you. The other has nothing to give nice thing to you or bad thing to you. What you get is your destiny. The other has nothing to do with it. But the whole point is, don't forget, you expect to be able to say and do things which will earn respect from the other, which means pride on your side. That is the trouble. That is the real trouble. Pride. I want the other to respect me. Yulan wants the other to respect her. Therefore, Yulan wants to be able to give the right answer and the correct answer, which is not in Yulan's control.
I'm going to really absorb this. I wish I'd written
and it is recorded, so.
Okay. And one more thing, Ramesh Bhai. It's very big. I have a mother who's 90 years old, or 94 or 5, or I forget, or 80 or...
Is she bedridden?
No, not yet, or not quite. It's been a turbulent relationship from the beginning. That's okay, everything's fine. I'm taking care of her in the house.
Yes.
I don't expect, there's no expectation. She's an old lady, I have to take care of her. When she doesn't get her way about something small, very often she said to me, "You bloody little bitch." Now that makes me
so if you don't accept it, what happens? As the Buddha said, it remains with your mother.
That makes me mad, Ramesh Bhai.
If that remains with your mother, if you don't accept it, mother is giving you something, you don't accept it, then you just give a smile and say maybe and go away. What will happen? She is the one who will suffer, not you.
I will try it the next time. I will look at this tape, I will buy it.
On this question, remember the Buddha. If you don't accept it, it remains with the other. If you don't accept what the other is doing to you or giving you, and if it is in your control not to accept it, you don't accept it. It remains with the giver. And if the hate, if what is said with hate, and you don't accept it, the hate remains with the other.
So in other words, I'm supposed to just accept any stuff that comes my way.
Accept it as something which is a happening, which had to happen according to a cosmic law, whichever way it concerns anyone. In other words, the basic understanding is everything is a happening according to the cosmic law. Whether it hurts me or hurts you, helps me or helps you, is our destiny, over which no one else is concerned. So we have to accept our destiny. So if our destiny is that some joy comes, pleasure comes, enjoy it. If some pain comes, accept it, suffer it.
I don't mind pain, but abuse is not okay.
Abuse is not okay.
No.
Abuse is not pain. Only slap is a pain. Abuse is not pain.
It's a kind of a pain. Makes me angry.
Yeah. Makes me angry. That is the whole point. That is the whole trouble in life. It makes me angry. And the whole point is, there is no me to be angry. And you create a me to get angry. Something happens, all right, let it happen. Somebody comes and says something to you which makes you angry. It makes you angry because you have accepted what he said or she said. If you don't accept what she said, how can anger arise? The anger and the hate will remain with the person who has come to do it, give it to you. Truly simple. But as I keep repeating, very often, you want to live your life in such a way that everybody will consider you a sage. Yolande, such a wonderful person. She knows everything. She never gets angry. She's always calm. That is the impression you want the others to have about you. That is the problem.
So then it's okay for me to get angry.
Yeah.
But they don't like that. I've done it. I've done it with this mother. I've said to her, this is not okay. I don't accept these words, and I walk out of the room.
Then you are not concerned with the lives of millions of others. You are only concerned with yourself. That is why I said the main point is what I want in this life,
Peace.
in the circumstances in which I have been placed, over which I have no control, and I am grateful to God for putting me in a reasonably comfortable position. What is the happiness that I want? And the happiness that I want depends entirely on one factor. Nobody does anything. Nobody says anything. Therefore you say, she said this to me. So the understanding is, there is no she to say anything. Something was said because it was supposed to be said. And the effect of what was said, as far as you are concerned, is your destiny. Even that is truly not in your control. But the important point to understand is, nobody does anything.
In other words, there's no doer. Those are your words. There is no doer.
There is no individual doer, I repeat. And for me, that is total enlightenment. That is all the sage. That is total acceptance of it, is what makes a sage a sage. Everything in the world is happening according to a cosmic law.
But I'm not a sage. You are.
I'm telling you what makes a sage a sage.
But when this happens, and
Then you are not a sage.
No.
It's a fact of life.
Right. So
And the trouble is that you want to be a sage. That is the trouble. Yolande is not a sage, but she wants to be a sage. I am not 6 feet 5 inches tall and weighing 250 of muscle. So what?
When you say I want to be a sage, I want to be a good person.
You want to be a, that's it.
I want to be?
A, whatever it is. I want to be. Those are the significant words. I don't want to be a sage. I want to be. I
good
want to
person.
be.
So never mind being anything.
That's the point. Why? Why? Not in your control. Not in my control. To be 6 feet 5 inches tall and weigh 250 pounds is not in my control. To have a brain like Albert Einstein's. That two things I am prepared to accept. But I don't have a temper. My complaint is what is my complaint? Not that I am not sick, but I don't have a temperament like that of a saint. If I can't have a 6 feet 5 inch body, and if I can't have a brain like Albert Einstein, what gives me the right to expect a temperament like Ramana Maharshi? What gives me a right to expect a particular kind of temperament when I have accepted totally? I have no right to expect an intelligence that is other than what I have, a body, mind, organism other than what I have. Similarly, all I have to accept is that the understanding that is supposed to be there is there. But if you really totally want to know, it doesn't really matter a damn whether when Yolande is dead, she was enlightened or she was not enlightened. Makes no difference to Yolande. When I am dead, am I enlightened? Was I enlightened or was I not enlightened? There is no one to care. The question doesn't arise. Therefore, whether I am enlightened or not depends only on this life. And therefore, what do I seek? I seek happiness. And I come to the conclusion, I did get the happiness I wanted. And then I found that the happiness that I've got is the enlightenment that I was seeking, but nobody told me. The happiness I'm seeking is what I've been seeking as enlightenment. And enlightenment, therefore, means accepting whatever happens as a happening which is supposed to happen. Nobody calls me a bad name. Nobody does me any harm. Nobody says anything to me. Nobody does anything to me. Whatever is said or done is a happening, which is supposed to happen according to my destiny, cosmic law. And whether that happening was supposed to hurt me or help me is again my destiny, cosmic law. Truly so simple, your life.
It's called acceptance.
Acceptance of whatever happens as a happening according to the cosmic law, which no one could have changed. Which no one could have changed. Even if God had taken human form, in that human form, God could not have changed anything. Why? Because the movie of life is already in the can. Everything that is to happen has already happened.
So everything is okay just as it is.
Just don't expect anything. Don't expect respect from the other. Don't expect respect from the other. You go your way, let the other think whatever he thinks about you. Problem arises if I, as the ego, want to be admired. I don't want to be thought of as a useless little fellow. That is the trouble.
I don't want to be thought of as anything, but I don't want to be just...
You don't want to be thought of as something rubbish.
Yeah.
Where is the difference? I want to be thought of as something great.
I don't want that.
Or I don't want to be thought of as some rubbish. No difference.
No, there's no
No
difference.
difference at all.
I don't want
There
to be
is
thought
no
of.
difference.
I don't want to be thought of as something great.
There is no difference. between my wanting to be thought of as a great person and not wanting to be thought of as a rubbish. Both wanting and not wanting is wanting, is expectation. There is one thing else. Point is, do whatever you like. Don't expect a certain result. If you want a mantra, that is my mantra. In any situation, do whatever you want. Having done it, don't have any expectation. Accept whatever happens because there is no alternative. Truly so simple. Truly so simple. Basically, that is what it is. I want the society to think of me as a big. Then you say no. I don't care if they don't.
There's
But
no
I
society.
don't. I don't want them to think of me as shit.
There's no society. There's only husband, son, and Anne.
That is what constitutes society. For you, that is what constitutes society. But for a politician, society is millions of people.
Okay, I understand. I'm glad I had the courage to really,
Come out with it.
to ask you, no matter how small I feel, because it's so important for me, and this one thing is so important. It's for everyday life.
For everyday life,
Everyday living.
everyday living, what do you want?
Peace.
Happiness through peace of mind. And how can there be peace of mind if you are going to react to everything everybody is going to say to you? How can there be peace of mind, happiness through peace of mind, if you as the ego are going to respond to everything everybody says? Somebody says, oh, you're such a good woman. Come. I have a fresh cake. We'll have fresh and cake and coffee. You're such a bad woman. Out. That is the egoic reaction. Wanting to be considered by the society as not a bad woman. You may say, I don't want, but what you want is, you don't want the society to think of you as shit.
Because I'm not that.
According to you, but according to the other you are. According to the other you are. But and if she tells you you are shit, and you don't react, then the shit remains with her. And is she the shit or am I the shit? If you don't accept her shit, the shit remains with her.
I have only a few days here.
Yeah.
And I'm praying I can absorb all I can. Every time I've come, I suppose I have absorbed whatever was meant to be, and I have your books. And this, what you've said today, I think it truly helps me in a practical way. Practical.
Yeah, because what I have said today, I think about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Is truly all that is necessary for you in your. So buy a CD or a DVD, and if there is somebody you don't like, then tell her, would you like to see an interesting DVD? I'll show you one. Show her this DVD. Then it may be that someone who didn't like you will suddenly begin to like you.
my understanding is you're saying that I don't want to be liked, but I don't want to get that nonsense.
Again and again and again.
I don't want to be liked. Just leave me alone in peace. Don't give me your...
What right have you got to ask anything in this world? I don't want that. I only want this. Who gave you the right to want only this little thing? So, like Olam said, you see, most people want greedy, they want so many. I'm not a greedy person. All I want is this. No difference. You want something without being greedy. Someone wants something being greedy. Wanting and expectation. That's the whole.
I'm going to digest this well.
Therefore, again I repeat, everything always happens. Problems arise when someone wants something specific to happen or not to happen. I repeat, everything is a happening, which is supposed to happen according to the cosmic law. The problem would not arise if that individual did not expect something specific to happen or something specific not to happen. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Well, thank you.
You're most welcome. I'll appreciate your thanks if it remains with you, but that is not in your control.
But it's in your and God's control, so...
Why not? Yes, I agree with you. No reason why it shouldn't. No reason why it shouldn't. That you are here now is God's will, cosmic law, your destiny. That you heard patiently what I told you for 45 minutes is your destiny. No reason why it should not go to your heart. No reason why it should not go to your heart. And if it goes to your heart, next you will see next time someone hurts you, says something bad to you, you will not accept it. You will not resist it. You will not accept it. Only answer is, you are a bitch. All right, maybe.
I'm going to try.
All right, maybe. So the being a bitch remains with her. Okay.
Thank you so much.
How dare you call me a bitch? You have already become a bitch. Moment, how dare you call me a bitch?
I do say that, yes.
You have accepted her charge.
So when you say maybe, it means you're more humble.
That maybe means I don't know.
You're humble.
You're humble, yes. Maybe means I don't know, I may. But the point is, maybe means I don't know. Maybe I am. But about that I can do nothing. You are a bitch. Maybe. If I am a bitch, I am a bitch. But I couldn't do anything about it. I didn't choose to be a bitch. I didn't choose to be a psychopath. I didn't choose to be a saint. I didn't choose to be Mother Teresa. Nor did I choose to be a call girl. Mother Teresa happened, a call girl has happened. According to the cosmic law. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you with all my heart. Thank you. I never know if it's the last time I will meet you. So this time I felt strongly It doesn't matter how small I am, just ask.
Yeah. You will never know whether I'll be here when you come again. I'm in my 92nd year.
That's why I thank you from the bottom of my heart, in person, in words.
Okay.
Thank you.
No. Come. You can stay on. You just a little separate the So any thoughts went to your head when you were hearing what you heard this morning?
I just keep getting more and more.
How true is
Yes, Guruji, and also I get amazed at your patience and how gently you teach, how beautifully you teach.
you know, but you know what the joke is?
Tell me, Guruji.
You know what the real joke is?
Yes.
Ever since I was 3 or 4 years old, everybody knew what they. All right, calm down. Impatience was supposed to be my trademark.
Wow.
All right, calm down. Impatience was my birthmark. But when this happened, patience happened. That is the point. Patience happens.
It's just so beautiful to see it. It's so beautiful to be in the presence of it, to see
Patience
it.
happens.
Yes, it's really beautiful, Guruji.
Sergey? Is it Sergey or Sergey?
Sergey, but it's okay.
Both, but it's really Sergey.
Yeah, because in French it's Serge.
Ah, yes, Sergey.
So that's a good way to say it.
Yes. There's been some sort of speculation about the cover of your book.
Yeah.
What exactly is it?
It's a picture from your eyes, and with my big nose and mouth, big mouth.
So top half is me,
Yeah. It's
lower half is you.
Yeah. It's a concept from the artist who did it.
I understand.
Cedric.
That's
Someone
what-
is connected with
That's what I-
Gautama. Gautama.
Yeah.
I just want to share with you
Please.
a state of mind. I still stuck with it. Not really stuck because I enjoy it also. It's about, I keep in my mind the fact that I still want to be enlightened some days, even if it's just before I quit life. Because for maybe 40 years I was engaged in this seeking process, and to reach somewhere that I could at least get some peace. And I read in your book that the wanting, the desire of getting enlightenment could be an hindrance to getting enlightened. So I don't care, because somehow it's inside myself, I keep telling myself, well, I didn't do all this ways on the seeking process just to give up about it. If it doesn't come, it's okay, but I'm still curious. The curiosity is still there about being enlightened some.
So for that I've been saying last, I think, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, not earlier. What I've been saying is, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
There is no one to whom it can matter whether before death the ego was enlightened or not enlightened.
Yeah, this I get it.
Because once the body is dead, there is no ego to care either way. An image is 2 rivers join the ocean. Once the 2 rivers have become the ocean, there is no one to care, neither river, that I was full of shit. the other one as pure as Ganga. And the whole idea is the basis of the manifestation and its functioning is duality. Duality. There will be some who will get that enlightenment, someone who don't. Therefore, what is the point of enlightenment? Right? Isn't that the question?
Yeah, that's a question. But this one, yeah, I may say this one thing still in my mind, just as curiosity, curious. I'm curious about it. Otherwise, I get your teaching. It's quite clear. But
on this point, what is the teaching?
huh?
On this point, there is no ego to care whether he was enlightened before he died or he was not enlightened.
This already brings some peace inside me.
So, this particular understanding brings peace. But what is the core of that understanding? What is the core of that understanding?
I think it doesn't matter. The daily life.
No, that's the point. That it doesn't matter. What is the core of that understanding? That it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Core
So I
of-
just want to share that sometimes this
No,
idea
no,
just pop
no.
in my mind.
No,
And,
no.
No?
If I want enlightenment, I want something out of it. But what I am saying is, whether it happens or not has never been in my control.
Yeah.
But the one whose destiny it is to be enlightened is destined to have happiness in this life. For the period,
Still
there is
going.
enlightenment.
Yes.
Maybe 50 years as in Ramana Maharshi's case, or maybe 50 seconds.
Yes.
But the happiness is there.
Yes.
Therefore, I keep on saying, pursue happiness, because that is all you can pursue. That is all you can pursue. Happiness in this life. And therefore, you begin by saying, what do I mean by happiness? By God's grace, I'm reasonably comfortable in life. I know what pleasure is. I've enjoyed pleasure. And yet I'm seeking happiness. Then the man says, but you have not enjoyed all the pleasure. The answer, supposing I had enjoyed all that, would I still not be seeking what I'm seeking now? Which is happiness. Therefore, the happiness I'm seeking has nothing to do with the pleasures in life. Which means the happiness I'm seeking has nothing to do with the flow of life. The happiness I'm seeking has nothing to do with what happens in life. Therefore, the happiness I'm seeking must be concerned with my attitude to life.
Right.
So I want that attitude to life, which brings me happiness, which keeps me happy. Which keeps me happy. And therefore, what is being happy? Being happy is totally different from the pleasure of the moment. So whether it's pleasure of the moment or pain of the moment, I'm happy when, to put it theory, when my connection with this source is never broken. Happiness. When is my happiness broken? My happiness, we are born happy. We are born happy. We are born connected to the source. Connected to the source means how can we not be happy? Being connected to the source is the ultimate happiness. But that happiness gets broken every time my connection with the source is broken. And my connection with the source is broken whenever I forget that I'm only a three-dimensional object through which the source is functioning. And I say, I did that. Right? I'm proud. Wrong? I feel guilty.
Yeah.
He did something. So the moment I forget that no one can be a doer,
That's why I would like to be enlightened, because I forget all the time about just what you're
so
just saying.
you want enlightenment for one reason. Sergey will be happy for the rest of his life in this life.
Yes.
And how long that life is going to be, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 days, 2 years, 20 years, maybe 40 years.
But that's the main purpose of
But
my life,
that
to,
is
to
the-
reach this. Otherwise, what the use
That
of
is the whole,
keeping
that is
me
the
alive?
point. That is the point.
Yeah.
That is why the book has come out. Pursue happiness.
Ah.
And if you do get the happiness, which you will get if you are able to accept totally, that that happiness has nothing to do with the pleasure, and there is no individual doer of any deed, everything is a happiness. Then that connection with the source is never broken. Connection with the source is never broken. Therefore, the ultimate understanding is, one, that every human being wants happiness in this life. Two, that happiness depends entirely on the connection with the source never being broken.
I have a clarification. Guruji, clarification.
Yes.
A thought came up when you were speaking to Sergey.
Yes.
This is about you saying what we are seeking in this life is happiness,
Yes.
which has got nothing to do with the flow of life. I take that into my own life and I ask myself, what am I seeking? And it's I've just broken up with my girlfriend, or my girlfriend's broken up, whatever. We decided to part ways recently, and one of the biggest stuff that starts immediately is the seeking for a soulmate, the seeking for a partner, the seeking for somebody in this life.
Now that is the basic seeking. That is the basic seeking of the duality wanting to be one. That is the basic seeking of the duality seeking its source.
You said that the other day also, Guruji. That was beautiful when you said the man and woman coming together.
That is why everybody wants a soulmate. And that is why sex happens.
Guruji, now it's been my destiny in the last 3-4 years that I've had a lot of relationships, but I've also had more time by myself in this place of wanting, or in this place of not feeling fulfilled, or in this place of pain. And in that situation, Guruji, I've also found a certain amount of an okayness with it. There's an acceptance of it. I live by myself in the farm and I'm quite okay writing my script or tending to the farm or tending to the construction, whatever's happening. Working mind, no problem. It comes in, it does its job. It's when there is that, but there's always this gnawing feeling that if there was a partner, that this would have been so much more fun. That if there was a soulmate, that the same thing, it's not that my job would have been better or I would have got something more.
But even that is part of your destiny.
It is a part of my destiny.
No one can change it. That's even if God had taken your form, in your form, He couldn't have done any better. If God had taken your form, in your form, even God could not have done any better. The movie is already in the can. Therefore, the only thing is, as well, first try and keep your working mind as busy as you can. After that, try meditation.
It doesn't happen, Guruji. It doesn't happen. You know, I meditation for me happens when I'm riding the bike. I can ride it for 8 hours, 7 hours a day. When I'm traveling, it's pure working mind and meditation.
Therefore, strictly speaking, meditation is another word for the working mind being busy.
Yes.
The difference is, in the working mind something is being done, in the meditation nothing is being done. But otherwise, fundamentally, it means the me, the thinking mind, is absent. Therefore, meditation, you can start meditation. Therefore, and as a matter of fact, this japa came into being according to my concept, because meditation is difficult. Meditation is difficult. Therefore, they started japa. Repeat the God's name. Repeat God's name. Then what happens? While repeating the God's name, a thought will arise. Or witness that thought and we continue again. And very often, repeating the japa stops and meditation happens. Keep on repeating the japa. And before you know it, the japa stops. And there is no japa, which means meditation. And even there, deeper than that, if you realize that there is a japa, in my case that has been happening, as I said, for some time. The japa is happening all 24 hours. What I'm saying, what I felt was, now I'm talking to you. After the talk is over, and when I go and sit in my room and relax, I can see, I can feel the japa started spontaneously. I didn't start it. Then it struck me that has it started there, or was it there all the time, and this talking was an interruption. The talking is an interruption, the flow was going on all right, but it looks as if I'm talking, and when that talking stops, the japa started. But my deepest feeling now is that the japa goes on all the 24 hours, irrespective of the state of the moment.
Guruji, this something similar is happening, but it's a bhajan by Krishna Das.
Yeah.
Gopala, Gopala, Devaki Nandan. It's always playing in my mind. It's always playing in my mind. And we finish singing, and if I go to get water, it starts off singing.
So therefore, it's happening spontaneously.
And it changes. Like earlier, it was this song by Deva
That
Prema.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Hari Om Shiva Om, Hari Om Shiva Om.
That
This one is
doesn't
Devaki
matter.
Nandan, Gopala. It's just going on all the time in my mind.
Therefore, what it is immaterial.
It's not, doesn't have to be Om Namah Shivaya.
Oh no.
Yes.
Therefore, the words have no importance.
It's the connection.
The words have no importance. Those words have as much destiny as your name is Vikram and mine is Ramesh. As much destiny as that. But in your case, Gopal would happen, or in my case, Om Namah Shivaya happened. But even this Om Namah Shivaya, when I watched the Aarti at Mahalakshmi at 7 o'clock on the TV, in number 53, from 7 o'clock it goes on. So when the Aarti goes on, the Namah Shivaya gets, and the Aarti Japa goes, which I enjoy as much. The Abhanga, the words in the Aarti take over. So the point is that thinking doesn't happen. Thoughts will still arise if they are supposed to arise. But the mind doesn't get involved in those thoughts and turn them into horizontal thinking, which is the real thing. Okay. Yes. But that is the point. Gopal or whatever. You didn't start it. That is the point. And that is the whole to be grateful about. Otherwise, if there is the slightest thing there, how lucky I am, how fortunate I am, how special I am, that the moment I stop doing something, I start repeating the japa. Suddenly, about this offense,
I did this EST in 1980. Arnold Seminar Training EST.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
EST.
Yes, yes, EST.
Ah,
Yes, I've heard about that.
a wonderful training.
I see.
And I got two benefits from it.
Oh, yes.
It was worth much more than the amount they charged of 500 rupees. At that time it was quite
Low.
500 rupees was quite costly at that time.
Yes, yes, I agree.
I stopped smoking. And earlier I had stopped, but I couldn't persist. And another thing which happened, as you said, Nijinsky's dance is best when Nijinsky is not there. Rohit swam. Up till then, his record was only 7 lengths in a 25-meter pool. And without any intention, without any thought, non-stop swimming happened for 23 laps in 35 minutes. And I was wonderstruck because the teacher had said, in walking, there is no effort. Walking happens effortlessly. It is the mind which interferes.
Yes.
And there was no mind at that time. I didn't even intend that.
Yes.
This offense, there were two, three exams they gave, which were very significant. They say acceptance leads to resolution. Expectations lead to frustration.
Yes.
And resistance leads to persistence. In an offense, when you resist, the resistance leads to persistence. And significantly, I had never been able to understand the famous saying, resist not evil, in the Bible. And that I understood. Because the evildoer gets sustenance in the registration of his offense with the victim. The victim has the offense has registered its mark. When the acceptance is when it is not accepted, it returns back, as Buddha said. And then the person who has perpetrated the offense is frustrated. And maybe he also gets, did I do something wrong? He feels very sorry for himself. And maybe he or she apologizes also. So this I got it very, very wonderful from this, both the EST and Buddha saying.
Yes. What do you think is the basis of the biblical saying, resist not evil?
Because the evil
What
gets
is that?
sustenance from the resistance which it gets. It wants somebody to be hurt and offended, and the resistance is there. Oh, why did he hurt me? What business did he? I don't accept. It gets, the mark which I wanted to hurt, the hurt is there. So he has been successful. That leads to persistence.
My understanding of resist not evil is, one, there is no evil and there is no
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
There is no good, there is no evil. They are interconnected opposites. There is no evil and resist not evil. One, because there is really no evil, but more important, there is no doer of any evil. Resist not evil. When do you not resist evil? When you see somebody has done something evil. Resist not evil.
Yeah.
There is no one to do any evil. Evil is a happening. Just as a good thing is a happening, evil is a happening. And all happening comes from the source. All happening comes from the source. Therefore, do not resist evil, means do not hate the doer of what you think is evil.
Does it mean that when the resistance is there, you sustain the doer?
You hate the doer.
And the doer gets sustenance from this hurt which he has registered with the other.
What happens to the other, you are not concerned. What happens to the other, you are not concerned.
Yeah, you are concerned.
You are concerned with the fact that you resist evil because you thought somebody has done something evil. Otherwise, without the doership, where is the evil? Evil and doership go together. So resist not evil.
Yeah.
Resist not evil for me means do not hate the evil doer. Resist not evil really means do not hate the evil doer. Do not hate the person who does something which you think is evil, which he should not have done. That is my.
That is quite. Another thing about this Nama, I wonder whether you have read today's Sacred Space. Have you, sir? Very wonderfully it has come. In the end it says, there is one Dadaji who is Amiya Roy Chaudhary. He said about the sacred name, Mahanam, God's name, comes from deep within a person's consciousness. Its two rhythmic sounds manifest the bipolarity of human existence. The sounds harmonize the duality between humans and God. When we walk daily with the conscious companionship of the Supreme Soul, our inner divine consciousness is awakened. That's what he says. Earlier also he said beautifully, ritual offering, the title is. Puja is the identification of the worshipper with the worship. Without the identification with the Supreme Being, worship could get reduced to mechanical performance of rituals or observation of convention. Then he says, God is available here and now. The God you are searching for resides in your heart. Asceticism, austerity, penance, physical restrictions, mechanical chanting, all these are egoistic activity. When you drop your ego, you attain wantless state. Then he says, if your consciousness has Him at the center, all manifestation and non-manifestation appear as your own self. Only one existence is perceived. If your center is in energy, variously known as Maya or Prakriti, you conceive yourself as a separate entity divided by the walls of body, matter and ego. I think this gentleman is the guru
I
of...
would like to ask the gentleman, who has the ego? Who has the ego? He is talking of your ego, isn't he?
God has the ego.
Who? Do I have an ego?
The God has the ego.
If
God is the ego.
If I have an ego, now don't talk nonsense. If I have an ego and the ego is destroyed, who is Ramesh? If Ramesh is supposed to have an ego and the ego, I'm told to destroy the ego, or the ego is destroyed, then who remains? Who or what is Ramesh without the ego?
May I ask you? You say consciousness is all there is.
Yes. And therefore, all this that we have read, I would say in one sentence, I am never unaware of my being connected with the soul. Whatever I am doing, whatever is happening, I am never unaware of being connected with this soul.
Connected with the identification. By the identification.
Connected with the soul.
By the identification.
I, Ramesh, the ego, is connected with the soul because thereby the soul, which has identified itself with this body, mind, organism, as a separate entity, the ego. Therefore it is the soul which is connected with this body, mind, organism and created an ego called Ramesh.
So it is God's identification. God has created this identity, the author of the identification. I cannot be the author.
Rohit, who else could do it other than God?
But then there is
Anything.
Then where is the ego?
Ego is the one who is now talking to me. Ego.
Then
is-
why do you sustain that saying that about the Hinduism goes one step further? I am the speaker and I am the doer.
No.
I am the listener.
No, it goes even deeper than that. It goes even deeper than that. There never has been a creation, nor a dissolution. You can't go deeper than that. There never has been a creation,
And
nor
you are
a
very right, there is no
dissolution.
talk then.
Ah, that's the point. There is no one to talk, no one to have want the last word. That is the point. There is no creation.
There is no one and there is no last word also.
Exactly.
There is no
Yes.
word.
Yes.
Thank you.
Guruji comes up to ask him one question. I
Yeah.
really want to ask you, and I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah.
Please, this is
Yeah.
very serious.
Yeah.
It's just something, you often had the same discussion with Guruji many times, and it always comes to the same impasse where you get, where there is something that something is, not accepting, or there's something that you differ in your point. The question is very simple. What do you lose, or what do you think you lose, if, God forbid, you actually are the ego?
Actually,
If you actually are the ego, what would you lose? Or what do you think you would lose? What would you have to give up? If, God forbid, in the way you think, that you actually turn out to be just the ego and nothing
how
else.
can I accept one which does not exist? Existence is only existence. It can't be defined.
No, that's different. Existence is existence, we know that. We're talking about you right now. And
Where is the you?
the one who's screaming at
Show.
The
There
one
is
who
a
is-
screaming. There is only screaming. There is no you screaming.
But no, the one who's feeling sad, the one who's grimacing, the one who's feeling
Where-
this energy
where-
churning up.
Where is the subject?
Here.
Where is the subject?
Right here in the chair.
Huh?
Right here in the chair.
In the appearance.
And the object in the chair.
In the appearance.
No, don't shift now. Don't shift into
In the appearance.
Then you can say there was no appearance. No, listen. Let's just talk
So
here.
you can't talk about this.
Why are you running away?
You can't talk about this.
Okay, we won't.
You can't talk about this. Am I so right? You can't talk about it.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
You are right.
Ego.
You are right.
Ego.
Once there was which happened. When I was in, and later on I told that it's an old story, but it actually happened in my case. When I was in Ahmedabad as the manager of the Ahmedabad branch, one man came in the morning, or Sunday morning, and complained. My wife does this, my wife does that, she doesn't listen to me, she doesn't this, that, and the other. So, this is what I've been doing, this is what I'm. So at the end of it, he said, do you think I'm right? I said, you're right. Then she went away, and another half an hour later, the wife came. And she said, this is my husband does, this is such a bad man, he does this, that, and this is what I've been doing. Do you think I'm right? I said, you are right. My wife in the kitchen was listening to this. So she comes up. He says, what nonsense is this? How can you tell him he's right and also tell her he's right? I said, you are right. Actually happened. And then she said,
Did she not say you are right?
no, she just took the other. Okay.
गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः नमो आदिरूपा ओंकार स्वरूपा विश्वाची आरूपा माय बापा तुझी आसक्तीने तुझे गुण गाऊ तेने सुखी राहू सर्व काळा तूची श्रोता तूची वक्ता ज्ञानासी अंजना सर्व होणे जाणे तुझ्या हाती तुका म्हणे येथे नाही मी तूपणा स्तवावे ते कवणा कवणा लागी नमो आदिरूपा ओंकार स्वरूपा विश्वाची आरूपा माय बापा ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो नमो माय बापा गुरु कृपा घना तोडिया बंधना माया मोहा नमो माय बापा गुरु कृपा घना तोडिया बंधना माया मोहा मोह जाय माझे कोण निरशील तुझ वीण दयाळा सद्गुरु राया तुझ वीण दयाळा सद्गुरु राया तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो सद्गुरु राया माझा आनंद सागर त्रैलोक्य आधार गुरुराव त्रैलोक्य आधार गुरुराव त्रैलोक्य आधार गुरुराव गुरुराज स्वामी असे स्वयं प्रकाश ज्या पुढे उदास चंद्र रवी त्या पुढे उदास चंद्र रवी ज्या पुढे उदास चंद्र रवी रवी शशी अग्नी नेणतीचा रूपा स्वप्रकाश रूपा नेणे वेद स्वप्रकाश रूपा नेणे वेद स्वप्रकाश रूपा तुझ नमो तुझ नमो ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो एका जनार्दनी गुरु परब्रह्मा एका जनार्दनी, गुरु परब्रह्मा तयाचे परिणाम सदामुखी, तयाचे परिणाम सदामुखी, तयाचे परिणाम सदामुखी. ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था, अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझा नमो, 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 तुझा नमो. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, सगुण निर्गुण एकु गोविंदू रे, एकु गोविंदू रे. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. अनुमानेना, अनुमानेना श्रुतीने तिने ती म्हणती गोविंदू रे, श्रुतीने तिने ती म्हणती गोविंदू रे. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. तुझा दृश्य म्हणो की अदृश्य रे, तुझा दृश्य म्हणो की अदृश्य रे. दृश्य अदृश्य एकु गोविंदू रे, दृश्य अदृश्य एकु गोविंदू रे. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. तुझा आकारू म्हणो की निराकारू रे, तुझा आकारू म्हणो की निराकारू रे. आकारू निराकारू एकु गोविंदू रे, आकारू निराकारू एकु गोविंदू रे. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. तुझा स्थूल म्हणो की सूक्ष्म रे, तुझा स्थूल म्हणो की सूक्ष्म रे. स्थूल सूक्ष्म एकु गोविंदू रे, स्थूल सूक्ष्म एकु गोविंदू रे. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. निवृत्ती प्रसादे ज्ञानदेव बोले, ज्ञानदेव बोले. बाप रखुमा देवी वरू विठ्ठलू रे. निवृत्ती प्रसादे ज्ञानदेव बोले, बाप रखुमा देवी वरू विठ्ठलू रे. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. सगुण निर्गुण एकु गोविंदू रे, एकु गोविंदू रे. तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे, तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. हे चिदान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरण भावा, विसरण भावा तुझा विसरण भावा. हेची दान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरन भावा, विसरन विसरन भावा. गुण गाईन आवडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी, माझी सर्व जोडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी. ना लागे मुक्ती धन संपदा, ना लागे मुक्ती धन संपदा. संत संग दे सदा, संत संग दे सदा, संत संग दे सदा. तुका म्हणे, तुका म्हणे गर्भवासी सुखे घालावे आम्हासी, घालावे आम्हासी सुखे घालावे आम्हासी. गुण गाईन आवडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी, माझी सर्व जोडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी. हेची दान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरन भावा, विसरन भावा तुझा विसरन भावा. हेची दान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरन भावा, विसरन भावा तुझा विसरन भावा. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम, तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. देह प्रपंचाचा दास सुखे करो काम, सुखे करो काम. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. देहधारी जो जो त्याचे विहित नित्य कर्म. सदाचार सन्मार्गाचा आगळा न धर्म. देहधारी जो जो त्याचे विहित नित्य कर्म. सदाचार सन्मार्गाचा आगळा न धर्म. तुला आवडे ते हाती घडे नित्य कर्म. तुला आवडे ते हाती घडे नित्य कर्म. देह प्रपंचाचा दास सुखे करो काम, सुखे करो काम. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. तुझ्या पदी वाहिला मी देह भाव सारा. उडे अंतराळी आत्मा सोडूनी पसारा. तुझ्या पदी वाहिला मी देह भाव सारा. उडे अंतराळी आत्मा सोडूनी पसारा. नाम तुझे घेतो गोरा, नाम तुझे घेतो गोरा. होऊनी निष्काम. नाम तुझे घेतो गोरा. होऊनी निष्काम. देह प्रपंचाचा दास सुखे करो काम, सुखे करो काम. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. पांडुरंग 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 पांडुरंग. Thank you. Thank you.